You're going to be working on your costing assignment today. We have our class competency here. We're researching cost, pricing, market demands. We want to make a profit here. The profit isn't as high as we would see generally in the industry. We are a school, but we are still going to fundraise for things like ProStart and to put money back into this to be able to do this more. So, like I said, here's your class competency. You're going to use Sam's Club or another grocery shopping site. I have heard from students that they are able to log on. If you're for some reason not able to log on to Sam's Club and you want to be able to buy in bulk, let me know and I'll log on for you. And then you're going to turn your costing via this assignment. If you have an event coming up that you already know what you need for food, then you could go ahead and do your own. Otherwise, you're going to do this. So, you've already created your BEO for at least one of your events. So you have the information. If you know what food you're going to need, it can go down here. So I'm going to use Olivia's example of the K Club breakfast and lunch for May South. So it says they need a muffin and a juice, turkey, cheese sandwich, wrapped in saran wrap, apples, cookies, mustard, mayo, water, bag of chips, and they need a napkin and brown paper bag. If you're going to need platters, like plastic platters, they cost money. Make sure you charge them for that. Do not just give them the plastic platters because they cost you money, okay? Sometimes you need to be more specific. So if you might need to say how many cookies, or you might need to say 1 packet of mustard if someone wants it to be more specific. Okay, so after I've created my BEO, then I'm going to go over here and cost. We're generally going to do it the other way around. We just already knew this one, so it's easy. But I'm going to make sure that I can fit that cost. So somebody's asked me for the turkey and cheese sandwiches. I come over here and set this up. Everything I'm going to need is in this column. I know I need the rolls, I need the turkey, I need the cheese, and I have to decide how much each person gets. So 2.5 ounces. So I need a chip bag, I need cookie, I need saran wrap, apple, muffin, juice, cup, bottled water. And then over here I put how much per person. So I'm just going to delete those and use them again. If I knew that it's $2.99 for a package of 24 rolls, then over here I could go ahead and set up B2 divided by C2, and that tells me that for 24 rolls it's $2.99, which means it's 12 cents per roll. I know that I only need 1 roll per person, so it's telling me it's 12 cents a serving, and that's what I'm trying to figure out right now is my total cost per serving, so per person. So again over here, I'm going to have to change this up a little bit though. So if it's $6, or let's say I think it was $5.25 yesterday, the quantity was 22.5 ounces. Well, I can't just use the same rule unless I extend this another one. I can insert one to the left. So then in this case, I know that it's going to be 22.5 ounces, but how many servings is that if I have 2.5 ounces per person? So you're going to have to figure out the number of servings that is. So let's say that that's 4 servings. Then over here I'm going to change mine. Or you could do it differently if you want to. Oops. B3 divided by D3. And I know it's $1.31 per person for the turkey. That's not true though. So don't actually do that. I've made both of these up. So that was just an example. So you're going to have one of these for yourself. Like I said, if you don't know yet from your client, then you will have to just do the K Club one, and you can all help Olivia out. So you're going to have this. Once you finish this, you're going to turn it in via this assignment. After you finish your costing, then you can go ahead and make an invoice. So you know from your customer what they want. You figured out the cost. But do we charge the customer just our cost? No. We have to figure out what our markup is. Often it works the opposite way here. They've given us their budget, so we knew their budget was $5 per person, and we had to figure out what we could fit in that $5 per person. So we're going to come back over here, and we're going to go to classwork, and then under the 266 forms, you're going to find invoice, and open the invoice. You're going to file, make a copy, and you're going to say Pool Practice Invoice 1024. You're going to name it your event and date. Okay. And then you're going to create an invoice for this person based on the costing sheet that you put together. Okay, the invoice tells the person how much they're going to pay. So you're going to fill in the date. Who is it to? This is going to be your contact person. What day will you be delivering it? Payment terms are due on receipt, so then due date would be that day. And then I'm going to start listing quantity. People like to see exactly what they're paying for. So I'm going to say 240, and you can either do paper Zax, blah, 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 but you're not going to list out the unit price here. You're just going to say 240 for this one, 240 breakfast and lunch, and then I'm going to say $5 because they did it all as a package deal. So then for my line total, it's going to be 240 times $5, and I have my line total over there. So it's a little bit different than if you were going to list out. So sometimes I would say like 240 snickerdoodles because they're paying for those, and then they're going to get 240 whatever else if they're doing them separately. Okay, so that just depends on how you're packaging it for the person. You can delete all the other rows, and then you're going to share it with me. I will share it with your contact and with Mrs. Greenlee to make sure that we get paid, and then you will keep track of whether we got paid. So that's how we work our invoice, and like I said, you'll send it to me. If we go back here, so for this assignment, just make sure that you finished costing and you turned it in via this assignment, and then you're going to do an invoice, and the invoice is going to get turned in right here also. Okay, I think that's it for the costing. If you are finished, then you can go ahead and work on your other event. If you already know what's being served at the other event, that would be great. It's never too early to start costing. Sometimes I do leave a little wiggle room if it's something like tomatoes, and I'm costing the tomatoes in August, but I'm not going to serve it till January because we know that tomatoes are a lot more expensive in January than they are in August. So I want to make sure that I leave a good amount of wiggle room on my cost there. So if you're not sure on how much to charge for something because they didn't provide a budget, then we can talk about that. We normally do about 50% food costs. So if it costs you 50 cents to make, we're going to charge $1. That's much different than the restaurant industry in general, just because our groceries are more expensive since we're not buying in bulk generally from a food supplier. So again, turn those two in here and you are finished with that assignment.